All right. Well, what are we talking about this week, Calvin? What's on the agenda?
So this week, I think we're talking about the secret alien-human breeding program.
What?
What?
Oh, my bad. No, that was next week.
No, wait, what? What is happening in the world?
What's the business part of that?
Y'all didn't hear about this?
I mean, I feel like it's a big business if the government's
I mean, it could
secretly
be
doing something, but
well,
like,
not if it's a government secret. There's no business in that. Who's making money on it?
Trump. Well, what's up, man? Back for another one of these?
Absolutely, yeah.
As usual, weekly little podcast. We've been getting some good views. Sense of Direction hit like the high numbers. Did you see that?
Yeah,
800 plus views.
Turns out that young people want to learn how to like financially control their lives.
Right. Maybe they're just better than us too.
Well, they should be better than us.
I hope so.
You know why? I mean, it's like with pool, right?
Yeah.
That's what I tell people all the time. There has never been a better time in the history of pool to learn how to play.
Yeah.
There's so much instruction online, you know.
I think maybe there's just no better time to learn anything ever.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
You know, and no better time to get all the misinformation that you've ever wanted.
Oh, that's true. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, do we have a quick update for those who've been following along on the kitchen saga?
Oh, the kitchen saga. Well, now it's down to electricity. So now
We're still. That was last week too. We're still just waiting.
we're still there because, you know, contractors, right? So I asked the guy doing my electricity, I was like, hey, man, did you happen to finish the stuff on the roof that the chief inspectors were concerned about? And he's like, what stuff? And I was like, don't you check your notes?
Yeah, that
You
seems
know?
about right.
And so now he's got to go. So when I thought I had my last bill paid with him,
He's got one more for
he's
you.
going to have one more for me. And every single one of them is over $1,000.
And they love to nickel and dime on that.
Man, I tell you. So,
I'd say nickel and dime. I think we need a new term, hundreds and 500s on that. Really,
Yeah,
they're killing you.
you know, because we never use billions anymore. Now it's all trillions. So.
Right,
And
yeah.
they discontinued the penny. So,
Right.
you know,
It's ridiculous.
now it's got to be dollars and fives.
I'm Scott Hess, tax and business consultant.
I'm John Barton, small business owner. Remember the tortoise and the hare? Slow and steady wins the race.
We started Turtlesmith to help people start small businesses, providing information and resources to small business owners and entrepreneurs.
Build a solid foundation and forge your dreams.
This is always annoying to ask, but if you're liking this content, please like and subscribe. It's the best way for us to get more followers and more people engaged in this great business content. You can also follow us on all socials at TurtlesmithOK and find us at turtlesmith.com. All right. Well, what are we talking about this week, Calvin? What's on the agenda?
So this week, I think we're talking about the secret alien-human breeding program.
What?
What?
Oh, my bad. No, that was next week.
No, wait, what? What is happening in the world?
What's the business part of that?
Y'all didn't hear about this?
I mean, I feel like it's a big business if the government's
I mean, it could
secretly
be.
doing something, but
Well,
like
not if it's a government secret. There's no business in that. Who's making money on it?
Trump. They're killing it. They're killing it in the background.
But no, seriously.
I'm sure we'll attack it.
Away from alien-human hybrids impersonating people. What do you do if someone impersonates your business online? That's what we're going to talk about today. I know John's got some great personal experience on this.
I feel like John's
I
going to have
wouldn't
some
say it's
strong
great
opinions.
personal experience,
Yeah.
but I definitely have a lot of personal experience. Yeah, I've got something to say about that.
So let me ask you guys. First off, how is it that you are able to notify your customer base, your client base in the event, as I'm sure John's going to talk to us here about in just a minute, in the event that someone does actually take over or impersonate you online and get people or get some of your intended traffic to it?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, the first and best way is if you have a website, you have to just make some kind of comment on there. So unfortunately for us, you know, we have to put it basically at the top of our website so everybody that goes there can see it. But in the age of social media, you have to just push out, messages every once in a while. So now every message that we push out, when we put out a picture or whatever, we literally say on the picture, beware of scammers. We put our phone number on there and say, so people know that that's our real phone number. And we put a link to our scammers page so that people can go there and read about, all the scammers that we found.
So you make kind of arguably a niche product, a custom pool cue case. It's not mass manufactured. You make custom cases for people who order them and design them. How often is your kind of small business getting ripped off? How often are scams coming through? How often is this a problem?
It happens, unfortunately, very often.
Which seems surprising to me.
Well, here's the thing with that is we don't only make custom cases. We make cases for sale. We sell to wholesalers as well.
Right.
So there are people out there who have just, cases for general sale that are not custom.
Gotcha.
So the scammers, they take advantage of this by stealing the pictures that those people put up. And then occasionally they will steal pictures that we've put up. And they will just offer them for sale. And because our product is in high demand, they usually are able to find victims.
And so what's the scam here that they're mostly pulling off? It's like Facebook or other things, and the people just send them money to what they think is buying the case, and then they never get anything.
That's exactly it. They never get the case, the money's gone. They somehow convince people to send money using one of the methods that is not recoverable.
Right.
Like a Cash App or a Venmo or something like that, where you can't pull the money back. And it's just gone at that point.
And then they come after you probably.
Occasionally they'll come after us. Occasionally we've had people complain online and get all upset about, how JB Cases is not delivering and everything. And then we'll have to go clean it up and we'll have to answer them. We'll say, we're very sorry, but you didn't deal with us.
Yeah. So what did you do like the first couple of times this happened? Do you try to help the customer out? Do you just have to say, listen, you got scammed. We're sorry. We can't help you.
That's the only thing that I can do. There's no, any helping them out would be helping them out in terms of I provide them with information. I provide them with a statement. I say, you didn't buy it from us.
But there's never a thought of like, we need to get this guy a case.
No, because I feel like that in today's world, people need to be more careful.
Yeah. I think that's the right stance to take
with.
as a business. I wasn't trying to like goad you into saying you need to give them a free case. That's just, it's an unfortunate thing that happens. And I think it happens more often with smaller businesses, mostly because you don't have the manpower to be diligently looking through Facebook for scams and shutting them down quickly and all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure you do take some time, but
yeah, no, we did.
They pop up quick.
Yeah. 2 years ago now, I guess, I had Chandler working on that. He was spending at least an hour or two every day.
Really?
Going through and finding these scammers. And it's kind of quieted down now. He still does it a little bit each week. And he'll add, when he finds somebody, he'll add them to our scammers page. Mm-hmm. And he'll also report them to Facebook. I pay $50 a month to be able to report them to Facebook.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
I have a lot to say about that. I'm not going to get into it right now, but
before we jump into that, I do have one more kind of point or question. You said the scammers, they often use methods of payment that are unrecoverable. What are the methods of payments that you take, like for your business, and then what are those that are unrecoverable? I don't really know.
Okay, so we take credit and debit cards.
That's obvious.
And we take PayPal.
Okay.
And so both of those methods allow for the customer to be able to go to their bank or go to PayPal and file a dispute.
Right.
Now, when that happens, PayPal will often, they will freeze the money, for example, or the credit card company will freeze the money, or they will extract it from our account and hold it in escrow while the dispute is ongoing.
Right.
And if we win the dispute, then they give us the money back. If the customer wins, they get the money. So in that sense, there is an opportunity for the customer to get their money back if the scammer is maintaining a PayPal account or maintaining some kind of credit card account. But the ways that are not recoverable are, for example, Cash App, Venmo, And there may be a few other methods. Oh, Facebook payments, for example,
Not recoverable.
not recoverable. That's just like handing somebody cash.
That seems like that should be.
Yeah, it should be,
recoverable.
you know, but they don't want to. Here's what it is. These companies, they don't want to be in the business of arbitrating disputes.
Yeah.
You
They just want to have a platform.
They
Make it
basically,
easy.
the way that they make their money is they hold your money and they make it on what they call the float. So as long Facebook doesn't care, Facebook just wants your engagement.
Right.
So they're just providing a way for you to transact, right?
Mhm.
And if you get ripped off, they're like, yeah, it's just like you met a dude in an alley and gave him cash.
Mhm.
Not our problem,
Right.
right? Cash App, however, as far as I understand it, they make money by people holding money in Cash App, and so they make basically pennies a day
Oh, on the interest.
on the interest, you know.
Yeah.
And so the longer people keep it in there, the more they make, and that's it. They don't want any other. They want to keep their cost as low as possible, so they don't have any interest in arbitrating disputes between people.
Yeah.
Venmo, I'm not so sure. I think that there might be a mechanism now for Venmo to possibly pull it back, but I if I remember right, there isn't.
Yeah. Well, I think these kind of scams are so common, particularly with companies that sell physical goods. I mean, it's harder to do with the service because, like, you usually pay after the service is provided, not before. Or, you know, maybe sometimes you'll do a down payment, but services seem less common to get ripped off than a physical good. But yeah, I think if you have a business that sells stuff online, you got to be careful.
No, services are actually very common. You know,
Really?
like yeah,
like I don't think
really.
I would pay for anything unless they like did the work.
So there are companies like Fiverr, for example.
Yeah.
Guys will get on Fiverr and they'll advertise themselves as a graphic designer, web designer, whatever, right? And they'll quickly take on a whole bunch of they'll do good enough work to get some good reputation, you know, for a week or two. They'll quickly take on a bunch of work and then they just disappear. You know,
See,
because
I
they don't
thought
give a shit anymore.
Fiverr doesn't hold the money until like the job's complete.
They will make other arrangements.
Yeah.
They'll get you to pay outside of Fiverr for that, you know?
Don't do that.
They basically build up trust is
right.
what it is.
Don't do that nonsense.
Yeah, no. Well, it's easy to say, you know, but people people are generally trusting.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true.
And con artists and scammers, they are very, very good at preying on that general trust.
Right.
Well, let me ask you guys this. How do you or can you even prevent this from happening altogether? Or is it just an inevitability that if you're online, somebody is going to impersonate you?
Okay. From the perspective of the small business owner,
Right.
there is almost no way to prevent it from happening.
Right. Yeah. It's
At least not, let me put it this way. It's almost impossible to prevent it from happening on your own. There are maybe services that can monitor these things. Maybe with AI coming out, you know, there'll be a better way to monitor this and be proactive. But in general, for a small business owner, there's just almost no way to prevent it. When it happens, then the ways to mitigate it for small business owners are pretty daunting, unless you're using, you know, a service that does it, which comes with its own costs.
Yeah. Yeah. And Calvin actually did some research. There are some companies out there. Brand Verify is a good tool to sort of monitor the web to ensure competitors or impersonators aren't taking like keywords when you're doing advertising. And then like ZeroFox and Brand Shield, they both help with impersonating against social media and phishing scams and stuff like that. So you as a business owner should look into some of this. But I think even with a paid service, it's never 100%.
Well, I don't know how okay, so let's take brand, you know, let's take the branding or the internet addresses, you know, URLs, domain names.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've had people, you know, do like, you know, JB cases with 3 S's or something and stuff like that. Or just JB case instead of cases, right? Just for me to go and file a complaint with that, with the, what's called the ICANN, ICAAN. And I don't know exactly what that stands for, but it's basically the organization that oversees all of the domain name dissemination.
Right.
It cost me like $1,500 per instance just to apply,
Right.
just to say, hey, somebody's impersonating me. Will you guys please look at it? And then I don't get that money back no matter what they decide.
Yeah.
So, maybe corporations have lawyers on retainer that just, snap
do.
that stuff out instantly.
They do. And there are some services out there that can help you with some of that stuff, but it is costly. It's expensive and it's hard to do. For me, the best way to kind of combat this is to just be educational to your customers, which you put it on top of your website, announce it on your social medias if you find impersonators. And then honestly, we just need a little bit more public education on some of these scams, like how they work, and telling people how to really look into verify and not get scammed themselves.
Here's something that I think that we have found that I think works for us. I think that this has been successful.
Yeah.
Whenever we put out photos of our product, because it's mostly, they have to use photos most of the time.
Right.
So whenever we now put out photos of our product, we watermark it.
Mm-hmm.
And we make it difficult for them to strip out the information.
Right.
So we put like beware of scammers and so on, so that, and we put it right over the product. And I hate to do that because I want people to see the product, but on the other hand, I don't want people to get ripped off.
Right.
And I think that's about the only way that you can do it, is when you put your photos out there, you just have to make them so difficult for people to alter and strip out anything that is on there that identifies or says beware of scammers.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. And you should always put your actual information on there, you
Right.
know? So we put out there, this is our website. If the website that you're going to does not say this, it's not us.
Right.
If the phone number is not this, it's not us.
Yeah.
And since we've been doing that, I think that it has made it too much effort for these people to
Because
to
they're
do
always
that.
going to go after low hanging fruit.
So
They
a
don't
lot of
wanna spend
times-
the extra
Yeah.
effort.
A lot of times what they'll do now is they'll go to groups that are selling used equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and they will take the photos from the people that took photos of their own equipment that they're selling, and then they'll go put those out in other groups somewhere.
Yeah.
And another thing you can do is you go find all the groups that are pertinent to your industry where they're buying and selling stuff or talking about it, and inform the admins of those groups and say, hey, these are the types of scams that are out there. These are what they look like. These are the most prominent ones, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And over time, those admins get adept at spotting them whenever they join their groups, and then they will just ban them right away.
Well, that works out.
So those are two ways that I would say that people can do to try to combat this and be preventative.
All right. Fair enough. Well, I think we have just enough time for a Facebook rant. Did you want to get into it?
Oh my God. Well, yeah, Facebook. Okay. So Facebook is the absolute worst when it comes to protecting people. And then on top of being the worst, they actually charge you $50 a month to get a verified check mark. And they literally say, as one of the benefits of this check mark, that you're going to get proactive impersonation protection. You know what their proactive impersonation protection is?
I'm assuming it's terrible with the quotation marks.
Right. First of all, it doesn't fit the definition of proactive in any sense of the word, right?
Okay.
What does proactive mean to you?
Getting ahead of the problem, doing it
Exactly.
ahead of time.
So
working through the issue.
you would think that Facebook, with all of their algorithms and AI and database and everything, that proactive would mean that anyone anywhere who shows up with any form of my brand, they would flag it and at least report it to me and say, hey, is this you?
I'm with you.
Right?
Yeah.
Nah.
No?
We don't know what Facebook thinks proactive is, but here's what happens. I have to find the people that are doing it. Then I can report it. and I can only report it in a certain way, in a certain order, at a certain time. And if I don't answer the chat within like a minute and a half, you have like 90 seconds to answer a chat. If their chat bot or their person, that's the only way, by the way, that you can get to an actual person.
Yeah.
This actual person can't do shit.
Okay.
Right? All they can do is take your information and say, I'm going to send it on to the team that's responsible for this, right?
But you don't get to talk to the team.
Right. And the team that's responsible for it, if they have follow-up questions and you don't answer it in 30 seconds, they close the chat and you have to start over.
Okay.
I am so close to saying something that should get me banned from Facebook forever, but I will not.
All right. Fair. I like the restraint. Yeah, that's nice.
You know, but I will say this, that I think that if we are allowed to forcibly change people's names at some point in the future to reflect their actual character, I would change Zuckerberg's name to Fuckerberg.
Oh, okay.
Because
I think that did it. I think we're banned now.
because that's what I feel that he is doing to businesses on Facebook. You know, like that one thing right there, if they actually were proactive, it would help.
You know, and I think there's always that argument too of like you're saying they're screwing businesses on Facebook. Well, their argument would always be, well, you don't have to use Facebook. But I think in the modern era, social media is a must. It's not optional anymore.
So I've thought about that, right? I've thought about that very question. You don't have to use Facebook. Absolutely correct. I don't have to use Facebook.
Right.
Which means literally that if I'm not on Facebook, then all of these scammers can run even more rampant on Facebook.
Yeah. It's not an option to not do those things. You know, I mean, granted, it's just, you have to be on social media. You have to be proactive. You have to be checking. Otherwise, you're just going to get screwed.
Have the tools.
Mm-hmm.
They know.
They just don't have the willpower.
They know. If I start an account with a completely different email, right?
Yeah, which is so weird to me because we tried to get our Turtlesmith Facebook up like 6 times and it was a real hassle to get everything. They were like the wrong email and it was a bunch of I don't know how these scammers get around it. They must have the tricks and just know how to do it.
Well, here's one way that they do it, right? The scammers will create accounts that have nothing whatsoever to do with any particular brand.
Okay.
And then once they find kind of a target group that they want to go after, they'll start filling up that account with that brand or the things that they want to try to pretend to have to sell.
It's a little bit of a slow roll.
Right. We have actually caught them in the act of doing that. Like we went to one and you could literally see that up until X point, they were filled with like car parts. And then they suddenly switched to selling billiard supplies.
Gotcha.
You know, and they just appear.
Yeah.
You know, so if Facebook, you know, were really proactive and they know where this stuff is happening from. They know it's happening from Vietnam. They know it's happening from like Cameroon and several African countries. You know, they're well aware of these IPs and where they're at, and they're well aware of VPNs because they can, you know, they can track every. Facebook knows when I'm about to fucking fart.
Yeah.
All right. For real. Like Zuckerberg actually bragged one time that they literally know when someone's going to when someone's about to have a bipolar episode by the tone of their Facebook posts.
Really?
You know? So, well, and obviously Facebook knows a lot about you because no matter when you search for something on Google, suddenly you've got your Facebook is filled with ads for whatever that is, you know? So they're they're at least tracking you at that level.
Yeah, I'm not really a Facebook user, so I'm
leaning
on you.
It's all of them though. It's all the social media sites will
really
do that.
Social media.
Facebook bought Instagram, for example. You know, so we found out or discovered. Actually, I think I was told this by somebody else that most of the scammers are coming to us from Instagram.
Oh, really?
So for a while we were posting our stuff on Instagram and we were, you know, having some success with that and liking it. And then suddenly we just get hit with a lot of scammers, right?
Yeah.
And so we just had to leave Instagram. And since then it's also tamped down a little bit. But like I said, Facebook knows all this. They must know it all in that sense. They must know all this. They must have the ability to track all this stuff. And for them to sit there and say, pay me $50 a month and I will proactively protect you against impersonation is that is to me like fraud. It's fraud. There's no other way to say it. And I talked to you about this before. I said, "Hey, what do you think about like trying to do a class action against Facebook?" And you were like, "That's a non-starter." And it probably is a non-starter because nobody wants to go up against Facebook.
Well, you sure have to have a lot of money and time and willpower to go up against a giant like that. But maybe you're the guy for it.
I mean, if I could find an attorney willing to take this on, I think that there's a legitimate class action suit here that could be big. Really, honest to God, I think it could be big.
Well,
and I'm not just saying that because I'm personally aggrieved. I'm saying that because I look at the volume that's happening. I had one scammer literally tell me that if I paid him $5,000, he would stop. Right? And the guy sent me like screenshots of the payments that he was getting. And this dude was making like anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a day scamming people out of our cases, out of the promising that he could, ship our cases and getting money. I mean,
well, there's a special place in hell for those kind of scammers.
Yeah, but there should be an even hotter place in hell for the company that enables them when that company has the power to stop them.
Maybe. I don't know enough about the interworkings of Facebook organization. You say that they have to know. But I wonder, I mean,
let me put it this way.
But there's so much happening on a daily basis.
Let me put it this way, right?
Right.
Let me put it this way. If out here in front of in the street out in front of our building here, if there were literally like a crowd of people out there that would pickpocket anybody walking by.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't get pickpocketed by the first guy, by the time you got to the end of the street, you were almost guaranteed to lose your wallet.
Uh-huh.
Right? Do you think that the business owners would try to do something about it?
Yeah.
Of course they would. And then would the police try to do something about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me put it this way. What if that band of pickpocketers moved, or there were 800 of those different spots throughout the city? It becomes so much that it becomes difficult to manage.
Well, then we have to marshal our resources and do something about it, right?
Well,
but if the city goes, hey, can't do nothing about it, right? Then why are we paying taxes, right? If the business associations say, hey, we can't do anything about it, then why are we paying memberships?
Yeah, no, I agree that something should be done. It's just I don't know the extent of the problem or how hard it is for them to combat it.
Well, the fact is that we do things about it in the real world. That's why we don't have this.
Mm-hmm.
But there are places in the world where that goes on, and you're in danger of getting stolen from every moment that you're there. There are tourist spots where they're teeming with pickpockets and stuff like that. And the police could do more. They try to do it. If they did any less, then there'd be even more pickpockets. There's stuff like that. But here you have a situation where the company is doing pretty much nothing.
Well, there you go.
Unless you catch the pickpocket yourself and drag him to the police station.
All right. Yeah.
And even then they might not do something.
There you go. Well, back to the main question at hand. It is very difficult to combat the scammers, as you just ranted, especially on Facebook. It seems near impossible to stop them entirely.
Yeah, I mean, but TikTok, Instagram, they're all the same.
Yeah.
These guys put up all these fake ads. And
so it sounds like the only thing that a small business owner can do proactively to stop it is to just make sure that they make it as difficult as possible to rip off pictures and that kind of stuff, and to educate their customers.
That's
Make
right.
sure that they know your actual number, your actual website, your actual email address, and make sure that they're
Amazon's another one. Mm-hmm. Amazon is full of knockoff, rip-off products that are literally just counterfeiting brands, and they allow it. Now Amazon will say, oh, we have policies against it, if it gets reported, this, that, and the other. But if a store gets banned, they just pop right up with another one.
Seems to happen.
So, I mean, it's, I would say that to protect yourself, do the things that I said, and also, go look at some of these other ones. I have to say that even as much as I know about it, and have been plagued by it. I didn't know about like Brand Verify, ZeroFox, Brand Shield.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were companies out there doing this, and I do wonder. I wonder how effective they can be.
Well, I think I looked at ZeroFox before we started this, and they seem pretty aggressive when they look for, they search the web and even the dark web to find lookalike accounts and those kind of things. And then they work on doing rapid takedowns of those sites or those social media. So definitely something to look
They
into.
must have like they must have like a wholesale discount or something, because, you know.
Well, or they're secretly owned by Facebook and they can do it a lot easier. Who knows? Did we hit all the points,
That would make
Calvin,
so
that we
much
were going
sense.
for, or did we have more questions?
No, we're pretty good
If you
there.
create the problem, then you create a company to charge people to solve the problem.
I mean, that's just a classic business 101 deal. You know, sometimes you can't always find a problem to solve,
You know
so you
what's
got to
funny?
create one.
You know what's funny about that? When I sold my first company, which was a case company, the next 2 years after that, I spent my time repairing Q cases. So I
Yeah.
actually had a website called Q Case Repair,
Yeah.
right? And people would often, ridicule me about that, a little bit, just and I would say, well, I spent 13 years, making them. Now
Yeah.
I can spend 13 years fixing the broken ones.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, any final thoughts besides, we dislike Facebook?
I think you have to be diligent.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important to search, especially on the social media sites, search once in a while for your brand. Like I said, my assistant, I would estimate that he spends about an hour a week or so doing that now.
Yeah.
And when we first started, he was spending about an hour to 2 hours a day
Yeah.
doing that for several months. So, you guys can think about whatever a person cost and, see what that cost.
Well, unlike Facebook, you need to be proactive in dealing with this stuff because you don't
Yeah.
want to wait until your customers are getting scammed to have some kind of solution in place.
Yeah, because it reflects badly on you, and you have to think that there are often, negative reports about you out there that are not actually about you.
Yeah,
and,
they have
and you're
nothing
not
to do
going to
with
catch
you.
them all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
all right. Well, check us out, turtlesmith.com, at turtlesmithok. Our episodes drop on Wednesdays. Thursday at 4:30 Central, we do our live, and Sense of Direction drops on Friday. Definitely check out all of our stuff. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
all right. See you guys next week.
And if you end up in an alien breeding program,
Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up.
I am part of an alien breeding program.
Yeah, or maybe I'm the only one who's not a part of the alien breeding program. That would answer a lot of my questions about the universe.
I don't feel connected to my fellow humans often.
All right. This is always annoying to ask, but if you're liking this content, please like and subscribe. It's the best way for us to get more followers and more people engaged in this great business content. You can also follow us on all socials at TurtlesmithOK and find us at turtlesmith.com.